Welcome to Notebook, a program of interest to the St. Lucie County community that features information about St. Lucie County schools. Guests include school district and community leaders with focus on children in our community.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Notebook, and this is a show that connects you with community officials, school district personnel, and other organizations from around the Treasure Coast. And today we have a very special guest with us. This is Mr. Wayne Gent, who is our superintendent of St. Lucie Public Schools, and we are thrilled to have you here as our guest today. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
I know you've had a very busy summer, very busy school year. This year, or this particular show, we're going to take a look at your first year completed, kind of use it as a reflection of all the great things that have been accomplished through this year. And one of the things that I usually talk with our guests and have them share with us first is your professional journey. And how did you come to where you are now as a professional educator? Tell us how you got started and where it brought you to in your current position as superintendent.
Well, that's a great question. I really had a teacher influenced me when I was in junior high school. Back in the day, we called it junior high, not middle school.
Middle school.
And I remember I had a social studies teacher, and he taught in a huge auditorium with the students. And I always liked his style. And then later on, I decided that I was going to be a teacher and a coach. I wanted to be a teacher and a coach, but it was influenced by a teacher themselves. And then started the early part of my career right here in Fort Pierce Central High School, where I was a social studies teacher and the basketball coach. And then I went to an assistant principalship, and then I had 3 principalships here in St. Lucie County. Was in Palm Beach County for 15 years and served as an assistant superintendent for curriculum and an area superintendent. And then finally, the last 4 years of my career there was really in the superintendency. And really was looking for something new, some new challenges after being there for 15 years. And but it worked out that there was a position open here. I was looking around the state, but something kept drawing me right back to St. Lucie County, where my roots really were in the early years or for the first part of my career. And because of the tremendous opportunities that I saw here in the community, it was led me back, and the school board voted me in a year ago, and it's been quite a year and a quick year.
Yeah, a very quick year, and it's hard to believe already. Today is the first day our 11-month people are back from summer, and it is very much flown by.
Yes.
So you had mentioned someone that kind of served as a mentor to you. How did they really influence your successes of where you are now?
Well, as far as mentorships go, I remember my first principal. His name was Mr. Hearn, Mr. Fred Hearn, and I just remember watching his style, that he was a very people-oriented person, big into relationship building, and always made you feel comfortable. Always highlighted your successes and talked about the positives. And one of my other mentors was right here in St. Lucie County, was Mr. Gallman, Jacob Gallman, who was my first principal at Central. And it seemed like in some of my other roles as principal, he was like my supervisor or executive director. And I learned quite a lot from him as well.
Yeah, we all have someone that influenced us in a particular way. And I know as you've talked to us throughout the school year, how important that relationship building is. I know that's one area that is really, you are such an advocate for, and we're going to talk about that in here in just a minute, because I know that is one of your true goals of really developing that for as a community and building that relationship. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. So the first thing I just want to talk about is we generally have 3 goals that we set as a district, and as a superintendent, that's something that you have made very clear to all of us who are in the support system throughout the district, to the community, and really trying to build that connection. But one of your top goals is that graduation rate, and we kind of talked about that a little bit down the hallway as we were coming in. And such great success that we're seeing, and just seeing the growth in our students throughout the district, through the high schools. Tell us a little bit about what we're seeing through numbers, through the students, and through that student achievement. That really, that's our whole purpose as educators, is to see those kids walk across the stage.
Well, it was a big point of emphasis, and it will continue to be, is the graduation. That's why we're here. It's for when we get the little students, and through the pre-K years or kindergarten years, we want them to graduate ready to go to college or for a high-paying career, and we want them to stay here and hopefully St. Lucie County as well. There's a lot of opportunities. But we brought in, bottom line is this, we won't officially know what our graduation rate is until November when it comes back from the state. It's called a lagging indicator. But we're confident that last year we were at 75%, 75, right around there. The state average is 77%. We're very confident that we're going to make a 9 to a 10% gain, maybe the highest gain in the state of Florida, and be right around 84, 85% for our graduation rate, which really represents a tremendous accomplishment for the district, for our high schools, and in particular then for the students who maybe at the beginning of this time last year maybe felt that I don't have a shot or I don't have a chance to graduate. But we really broke the numbers down. We made sure every student had an advocate. And the number, it's paid off, our efforts have paid off, and it's a tremendous story for St. Lucie County Public Schools. Absolutely,
and just the future that we're going to see for these kids, it kind of segues right into my next question, because there's a program that many people who are watching the show may not be aware of, is that Future Educators program, A Promise is a Promise. Tell us a little bit about that and how that really segues into the student achievements and successes.
Well, the Promise is a Promise program is students that want to be teachers that are our students in our high schools right now. And so last year or 2 years ago, 35 students, what it means is if they go to college and they go to want to be a teacher, they have a guaranteed job back here in St. Lucie County after their 4 years, or if it's a however long their career takes them in college, that they have a job waiting for them right here in St. Lucie County Public Schools. And so last year there were 35. This summer we had 75 students. So we've doubled that. And it's really a way to, there's a teacher shortage in the country, and there's a teacher shortage in the state of Florida. And so you want to find high quality teachers, because that's the key to moving our students and student achievement, is to have a great teacher in front of every child. And so we're trying to grow our own. So our students that have gone through the system come back and get right in front of it, whether it's at the elementary level to the high school level, whatever they major in, we want them to come back here. So it's an initiative. We're pushing it a lot more. We're putting a lot of publicity into it, and information to the students in school that be a teacher, right, and come back and make a difference in the lives of the kids in our community.
Absolutely, and I don't think a lot of people stop and really think no other profession would exist without a teacher.
Right.
And how tremendous, what an impact these kids are going to have coming back home and really setting their roots, like you said earlier, coming back. And I know my daughter's very excited about completing her degree and coming back. And, for a long time it used to be, I'm not coming back home, I'm going to go somewhere else, bigger city. And as she got ready to, getting into her third year as a junior, getting ready to come back, and very excited to be a part of St. Lucie. So we're looking forward to that too. Mom's very excited about that.
Yeah, have her come back. She can live with you for about
10, there you go.
10 more years. And,
I don't know about that. But she's really excited about, putting her roots back here. And if we can continue that wave of our students, coming back would be a tremendous thing for us here in St. Lucie County. As we talk about the future teachers, we've also had a huge reduction in the number of vacancies we've had in St. Lucie County, which is a huge accomplishment under your leadership. And talk to us a little bit about that, and how, what do you think really has attributed to that, and being able to reduce those numbers and being able to keep our teachers here? And we're really seeing a huge success with that.
Well, it's been a point of emphasis, and we've pretty much done a lot of major changes within our human resources department, the HR department. And one of the things we wanted to do was to make the application process simpler, and we're still continuing to tweak that, because it seemed to be a very cumbersome process. It was almost easier for me to apply to be superintendent than it was for a teacher to apply to be a teacher in the county, and it should be just the opposite, that they shouldn't have to jump through any hoops, and that it should be a seamless, easy transition for them to fill out the paperwork and for us to find highly qualified folks. So we've tried to do that. We've tried to get information out to our principals earlier, where we've done the advertisements earlier. We've trained our principals on that. So it's really been a systemic change within our HR department to do that. We've also focused on our own school centers and the cultures that are in our centers. My first message to our principals was really what kind of a culture is established in your school. And because when you have teachers moving from one school to another, the research will show the main reason that they'll leave is not because of student discipline and not because of pay, although sometimes those are factors into it, but really it's about the leadership within the school, and it's really about a collaborative environment where they feel like their needs are being met, but it's a collaborative working environment that they work together as a team, and it's just a good, genuine culture in that school center, and folks will stay. So we've seen that. We've seen it in all of our schools. Some of our schools that may be some of our more challenging schools, we've seen a major reduction in teachers that are leaving that, and I really attribute that to the principals and to the environment that they've established.
And one of the things that you provided as a challenge for us at the beginning of the school year that maybe our viewers aren't aware of, but I remember at the very beginning of the school year, you had asked us or shared with us about how important it is to be that point person. And are you kind of challenging us? Are you that point person that people go to? Are you the one that's providing that quality? And it should be all of us. And really challenging us has really changed that, and bringing that awareness, I think, has been a huge improvement for us as well, and making that connection with the community throughout the schools, through the district office. That was a great challenge that you provided.
Well, it's still there.
Yeah, it is. Well, you've done a tremendous job as well, really making that community connection this past year. And I know that that's first and foremost on one of your goals. Share with us some of those community connections that you were able to make and some of the successes that have occurred through those.
Well, one of the goals is in communication and community engagement. And it's an area that we try to be visible, not just myself, but our schools as well, and our principals and our district staff, that we're in it, we're in the community, we're speaking at events, we're trying to brand and market the district to tell the good stories. We say, take a closer look, we think you'll like what you see. Right. And so whether it's into the churches and the faith-based group, or working with our county partners in Fort Pierce, St. Lucie County, or Port St. Lucie, different civics groups, you have Kiwanis and Rotary clubs, and you name it. I try to be available to go out there and speak to them and to tell the story. We do have a good story to tell about our county and to highlight on some of the positive things that are going on, as well as some of the major challenges that we face. But it's really, in order to, there's been a perception of the schools not as positive as I'd like for it to be, and it's been around for a long time, even before I left and came back. And I think that that's something that we can turn around and change. Also, our students that are in the schools, if they go home happy, if coming to school is the best part of their day, then that sends such a powerful message. And that really is broke down to the individual classrooms, as well as the school center, as well as the district, on what we're doing. That we're here for the kids, it should be the best part of their day. And if that message permeates and gets back home to the parents, that's half the battle right there. Absolutely. And what a segue we have made from this year and kind of going into next year. I know we're going to come back in just a few minutes and talk about your upcoming year. But before we close this particular segment, tell me, share with us what your favorite accomplishment was. What was the highlight for you for this past year as you look back on completing your first year? I think it has to be the graduation rate itself. That we were able to make such a significant increase in the graduation rate. When we look at our children of color, our African American students, it's going to be around 20% increase. When I look at our African American males, which is a group that we really focus in on as well, because there's some unique challenges there, that's going to be almost a 17% gain. So students that may have felt like they didn't have a chance or a future, or that I'm going to be struggling, we were able to come in and work out some individual plans with them, get them support, get them an advocate, and it really made a difference. And so I think that's probably, when I look back, what I'm most proud of is that increase. We'll still have unique challenges, particularly with third grade literacy and proficiencies. But if we break it down similar to what we did with our graduation rate, it's a message to show that yes, all kids are capable of success, and that we can really drastically improve what we're doing if we're very systematic about it, if we have progress monitoring and we want to have continuous improvement. There's a way to do that. And so now our focus will continue to be on the graduation rate, as well as the actual teaching and learning in the school and the classroom and what's going on. Our core mission to help shore up our teachers, to help build teacher capacity to deal with the unique challenges that the boys and girls bring to them and the young people every day, to show that that can transform as well into increased student achievement as far as their assessments with the Florida State assessments, the FSA, no longer an FCAT, but an FSA, which is a much more difficult test, much more rigorous test, that we're up for that challenge.
Right. But we're up for the challenge.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, thanks for being with us on this segment. You're going to come back and be with us for a few more minutes on our next segment. Thanks for sharing, and we're going to talk about some of the things that are going to be upcoming into this new year. Very excited about the 16-17 school year and what it's going to be bringing. We want to thank you for being with us on this first half hour, and especially give a special shout out to Ms. Pam Holmes, who has acted as our host today at Fairlawn Elementary, and to Ms. Chowdhury, thank you for lending us your classroom and sharing that with us. And Zara, thanks for being our little set director. We appreciate your help as well. Thanks for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you on this next segment of Notebook, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day. And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up
And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible.
And then we're going to turn on the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
What's your reaction? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
Nothing.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Notebook. This is a show where we connect you with community officials, school district personnel, and other organizations from around the Treasure Coast that really support our families and students here in St. Lucie County. Thanks for being with us today, and back with us for another segment is Mr. Wayne Gent, who is the superintendent of St. Lucie Public Schools, and thanks for being with us again. And on our first segment, we talked mainly about just kind of reflecting back on last year and the accomplishments, but we've got some really exciting things around the corner as we get ready to start the 16-17 school year. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Before we do that, I always like to have our audience just get a little personal information, a little background about you. You shared about your professional journey with us. I know you're a huge sports fan.
Right.
So share with us who your favorite football and basketball teams are.
Well, I'm from Miami.
Okay.
So it has
It's
to
all
be,
over.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
has to be the Miami Dolphins
Yeah.
and the Hurricanes and the Heat and the Marlins and the Panthers.
Yeah.
Anybody from Miami, although it's been a drought in many
Yeah.
of the, except for basketball, it's been a drought in football. But
Yeah.
that's kind of a stress reliever, and always been involved in sports and even with coaching, and even up until last year I coached youth league basketball for many, many years. So it's just like an outlet.
And what sports did you play in high school?
I played a little football, and then I played basketball. I was on a state championship basketball team, and way back in the day.
Yeah.
And so I still enjoy those things.
Now, are you Florida born and raised as well?
Yes, born in Miami.
Is that right? How about that? I learned something new today.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, last week I had an opportunity to meet with our Chief Communications Officer, and one of the things that she was talking about and sharing were some of the facts that were really interesting. And even as a teacher being here in St. Lucie County for almost 20 years, some of those facts I wasn't even aware of as a teacher that's been around in the district for a long time. And I just wanted to take a minute to share some of those, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some of those that really deal with some really interesting things that you deal with on a daily basis. So as a school district, we have 36,000 students. We have a budget of $468 million, which that was totally, you know as a teacher that the budget is huge, but you don't realize at what magnitude it really is that you are overseeing as a superintendent. That's a huge job. We have 47 languages spoken in our school district, which I was not aware of that. I knew we had many, but not realizing that we had 47. We have 51 countries that are represented here in St. Lucie County, and you wouldn't expect that just in our little community to have that many countries represented. I thought that was very interesting. We have just under 5,500 employees. That's a lot of lot of people to oversee. What I was very excited about, and I remember being in the classroom, we had business partners that we had through the district, but when I've been out of the classroom, this is going on my 4th year, we had several business partners, but not as many as we have now, and that's a huge increase for us, and very excited about what you're doing in making that community connection. So presently we have 82 business partners, and we're going to talk about a program that's going to expand that even farther. So we're going to talk about St. Lucie stores here in just a minute. We have 35,000 meals that are served daily, which I thought that's tremendous, and what we're able to provide a lot of our struggling students, and to make sure that they have a warm meal twice a day, and what we provide through our food service is tremendous. And here was another number that I thought was pretty amazing, is we have 317 buses that travel over 6 million miles every year. Right. That's pretty amazing.
It is.
So yeah, so when, as she was sharing some of those facts with us, just on a daily basis, all of the things that you oversee, one of the initiatives, and as we compact all of these facts and how every child is affected in their time here in St. Lucie County, through their achievement, through their academic successes, through their social growth, through all the different aspects that we touch in their life. One of the things that we really wanted to focus on was that summer slide. And when the kids are away from us through the summer, a lot of them don't have that extra support that they generally would get through the school year. And you saw to it that something was provided for these kids through the support of the school district. And this was something that is open to every child in St. Lucie County, not just to St. Lucie Public Schools students, which I thought was tremendous. Share with us a little bit about your initiative with the Summer Slide program. And we'll talk a little bit about what your hope for accomplishment and how it's affected student achievement. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, it's really, the students leave us this year, really, I think it was the last day of May. Right. So they've got the 3 months or almost 3 months when they're at home or they're on vacation or wherever they are, but they're not really in the classroom every day. So you would have a tendency to lose some of the things that you may have learned during the course of the year. Many of our students, that will hurt them, and there'll be a loss, and then they'll come back in August when school starts again, and the teachers have to go back and review, which they're going to do anyway. But sometimes a lot is lost, so we call it the Summer Slide. In fact, you designed I believe, the logo for that, so congratulations.
Thanks.
So it was an attempt then to have activities for the students from kindergarten through 12th grade that they could be involved in the course of the summer. And it's not hardcore stuff. Some of it is, mathematics and reading and those kinds of things, but also there's games, there's activities. You can do them on vacations with the families. We still have a few weeks left before school starts, 3 weeks. So we've tried to do voice call out and messaging through the community so that the parents can just go to the district webpage and click on Summer Slide and then just follow the links there, whether it's kindergarten or elementary school or middle school or high school. It is available to all of our students in St. Lucie County. All of these kids are our kids. This is a community, and it's one group, one team, and so it's available to any families. If they don't have the resources at home, maybe some of the computer or online, they can go down to the local library down the street and get that information. If they come to the district office, we'll find a way to help support them. So it's a great program to try to help the kids to stay actively involved in what's going on over the summer, so that they don't really lose anything, or if they lose a little bit, it won't be as much maybe they may have lost if we didn't have these activities available for them. Right,
because according to research, that Summer Slide really affects a student with a loss of about 2.5 months and really takes them back. So providing those resources is tremendous, and what's being able to access. We've had so many calls at the district office about parents that are interested in being a part of that, getting their students involved with it. We've also had tremendous views, a tremendous number of views. I know we talked to Samantha, who's our webmaster at the district, and we're looking at several thousand views over the course of the couple months, and we've still, like you said, we've still got a few more weeks, to really provide that. As a part of that, a real push for the third grade literacy and really bringing that up to another level. That's another focus for us for this year, the upcoming year. Share with us your goals for this year in dealing with that third grade literacy growth as well, and we'll hit on the St. Lucie SOARs as well.
Well, third grade is an important year for the students. Every year is important, but third grade is a key year because if the students haven't really, or they're reading for understanding and really understanding what they're reading and those skills are not there, then that's going to hurt them later on. They're going to be playing catch up. So it's probably the highest priority that I have this year. That, along with our graduation rate, is really our literacy rate for our students as they come into third grade. So it starts at pre-K or kindergarten, first and second grade, with a strong foundation, a heavy emphasis. That's the first year that they really get tested on the state FSA, and it's an important marker year for the students. So we're working on a tremendous amount of staff development and to build teacher capacity to deal with our students and to make sure that they're successful in third grade and that they're proficient on the state exam. This year the district went up a couple of percentage points in the proficiency, but we do lag behind. In all honesty, we've got to confront the brutal facts. We do lag behind the state by about 6 percentage points, and so that's a heavy emphasis on that. The same effort, the same strategic, the way we were so strategic with increasing our graduation rate, we can bring those same concepts into working in the curriculums and to working with our students to monitor them, to monitor their success through the course of the year, on how they're doing on their classroom assessments or their classroom tests, what the teachers can go back and reteach. A key component of that is teacher planning time and collaborative planning with the teachers where they work in groups. It's probably the strongest staff development we have is when our teachers can work together themselves. We're also going to reach out to our community in a program called St. Lucie SOARs. And what we're doing here is inviting folks in from the community in collaboration with Big Brothers Big Sisters, with Judy Miller, that they'll be able to come into our schools. We're asking for an hour a week if possible. We've already got a commitment from Port St. Lucie government, city government, and then the city council, which I presented to you last week, where we want our volunteers to come into our schools and work with a child, work with a third grade student, work with them on literacy skills. You're also mentoring them, so you're also developing social skills and really being a positive role model for them. So we're going to kick this out in a couple of weeks. We'll do really easy training for the folks. We have a lot of retired teachers out there. We have a lot of retired folks from up north that have come in. And so we really want to open the doors to have folks come in and help support our students.
And even when I mentioned on the way in this morning, I've even had people, the word must be getting out because people are getting very excited about being a part of the St. Lucie SOARs and being able to work on that one-on-one with students and understanding the importance of really building that literacy piece for every child. And very excited that people in the community are asking to be a part of it, and I know this is going to be a huge success and very excited about what's in store here in the next couple of months to really meet the needs of our kids. It's going to be great.
It's I guess they say the father of public education is John Dewey. I'm not sure, but he made a quote that a statement that really resonates. He says, what every parent wants for their own child, their own son and daughter, right, the community really must want for all of our students and all of our kids. So the first and best teacher should be the parent, but that's not always the case for our young boys and girls that come to us. And so this is a way to partnership, and folks have a lot of expertise. Even if they're not great in literacy, they can be a great role model. They can be teaching some social skills along with the literacy component. So this will be our first year kicking that off, and we really want to expand this and and get it into the. We're going to talk to the different government agencies. We're going to talk to the different community organizations. Our district staff, they're not aware of this yet. Yeah. That we want many of our district staff to come out and give an hour a week as well in our schools and help be supportive of what's going on in the classroom with the teachers.
In fact, people have talked about it, I know, just within the four walls that I sit, and they're excited about the possibility of being able to get out there and working one-on-one with a student. And
yeah, I'm excited about it.
I'm very excited.
I'm trying to figure out, I was thinking about over the weekend which school I want to choose.
Yeah.
And which, and to come in and do the same thing. Sure. And so I'll model it as well.
Sure. Being in the curriculum department, we get a chance to work in the classrooms, but more with the teachers one-on-one, and working in that collaborative piece. But to go back to kind of our roots with,
right,
working one-on-one with the kids and being able to mentor And again, provide what you hope every child, if it was your child, that they would be having that same experience,
Right.
learning from someone. Another one of our goals, let's hit that. We've just got a couple minutes left, but one of the other areas is our college and career readiness, and really providing a great segue for every kid to have that choice of the different areas that they're wanting to go in. And I don't know that a lot of people are aware of all of the college and career readiness programs that we have in the high schools. I know we're getting ready to put one of our high school choice program books out there, so it's going to be more available for students and parents to see what's really available. Share with us just a little bit about what you're seeing here and developing that a little further throughout our high schools.
Well, the whole key is college and career. Well, we recognize that not every student's going to go to college, but those that do go, we want to make sure they're prepared for that. And we know that some students will go directly into the world of work. So we want to have programs in place as well so that they can get industry certifications, they can get the skills needed, whether they're in the aerodynamics program at Central or a culinary arts program or a IT program, whatever that is, that they can get what's called industry certification, which will bring them in with credentials so that they can come in at not the low level pay, but at a medium range, and then help support the community. So there's a heavy emphasis on that. We have a program called Naviance, which is an online program which the students can do inventories and help them to see where their level of interest lies. And so whether they're going to college or whether they're going to go into the career world, we want to make sure that they're adequately prepared through a rigorous curriculum. Not something that's easy, but that we're preparing them for either pathway.
Good deal. It's very exciting to see all the different segues that the kids can take. Our last minute, I know one of the other things that we've talked about at the district level is really looking at across the board discipline. Looking at a unified message. And I know one of the things that was mentioned was that reduction in out-of-school suspensions and really looking at the overall component of really bringing in that relationship building piece. Tell us a little bit about what your vision is for that unified message and bringing that together.
Well, the students bring a lot of issues to school with them. Some of which many times is an environment they've been in and it's maybe not their fault. Right. And so we look at the total child. So we look at the social emotional aspects of children, and it represents a challenge. The good news is this year we had a 15% reduction in our suspension rate. What we want to do is to continue that, to make sure that we train our teachers on what to look for, signs to look for, make sure we've got adequate support in the classroom. With that, working with community agencies as well for some of the students that may need some intense support. Our ESE department does an excellent job under Bill Tomlinson, and our student services department, but it's an area that we have to work on because when the kids aren't in school, we can't teach them. So we try to come up with some positive behavior support, and where you develop what's called a single school culture. And what that is that the culture is really about, the culture is how we do things around here, and then the climate is how does it feel. So within that developing that culture, it's in academics, it's in behavior, and it's in the climate itself. So there's what's expected of one student in one class would be the same expectation in another class, that the norming of the rules are the same. So at high school, if the bell rings and I have to be in school and I have to be in the classroom to not be tardy, every teacher has to enforce that. Right. Those kinds of things, and it helps the students to know that there is a norm to the behavior and what we need to do. It represents, next to literacy, one of our major challenges in the schools, not only in St. Lucie County, but across the country, because of some of the behavioral issues that the students bring in. Some of these are directly tied into mental health, severe issues, other than not so severe that we can work through. So we have to be aware of it. We have to adequately train our teachers, again, work with our community agencies and different organizations that are out there too. And we did put a dent in it this year, and we're going to expand the training, and it'll be a major goal and challenge for this upcoming school year.
Well, we've had just a tremendous growth, achievement, successes, just great things that are happening in St. Lucie Public Schools under your leadership. We appreciate what you've brought to St. Lucie County, and I know coming into our new year, hearing all of the things that are just around the corner for us, very excited to be a part of it, to be a part of that team, looking forward to lots of growth.
I appreciate that, but really the credit goes to the staff, to our teachers, to all the employees that work in the school district, because without them nothing can happen.
Right.
So we can have a vision and a goal, and then we've got to give them the support in the schools to make sure that they can adequately accomplish that.
Right.
And we've got tremendous teachers that come in every day and are dedicated, and support staff, from our bus drivers to our custodians to our food service workers to the district office staff. But it's really a team effort, and I'm so blessed to have such high quality
Absolutely.
employees in the district, because you win with the right people. And I think we have the right people, and our principals work very, very hard as well. So it's really a collaborative team effort. It's a theme I'll be hitting hard this year. And so even though I may be the superintendent, we can't get anything accomplished without our
right.
employees.
Right.
And I'm just so grateful for those that work in our schools every day. And this year we're able to start the school year out and reaching an agreement with our CTA. So we'll go in and have a little bit of a bump in salaries for our instructors, just like we were able to do last year, which is the school board's way of showing their appreciation to our teachers and what they do, and for all of our employees. So I wanted to just say thank you to them as well for the great job that they do.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I can speak for many of us that every teacher is excited about coming back and hit the ground running and provide the best education that we can provide for every kid in St. Lucie County. So it's great to be a part of it. Thanks for being with us. Well, thanks for being with us at this during this segment of Notebook. We appreciate you being with us. There's going to be some great things happening. Be listening for a way to get involved in St. Lucie Public Schools. Come and be a part of St. Lucie Soars. Make that one-on-one connection and build a relationship with a child here in St. Lucie Public Schools. It is going to be a moment that you won't regret, and you won't forget the difference that you made. So come and learn more about what we do every day, and we are very lucky to be a part of St. Lucie Public Schools. Thanks for being with us. Have a great day.